Born with the sun in Cancer, you are likely to be motivated by the urge to establish emotional connectedness with others, and then take action to nourish, support and protect them. Cancer is a water sign, and so, concerned with emotions, intuition, imagination and the psyche. It is also a cardinal sign, implying the need to act within the realm of emotion. Cancers are likely to be actively engaged. The emotional ties that bind to those closest are of primary concern. For this reason, Cancer is strongly associated with family and domestic life. Home is the natural domain for those with the sun in Cancer, for it is here that they are in their strength. Home life is especially important, and Cancers often need to feel safe and secure within a loving home environment in order to feel at ease. Therefore, the home needs to be as calm and serene as possible, for the home environment acts almost like the shell of the crab, protecting what is soft and vulnerable on the inside from the harshness of the outer world. For this reason, Cancers will spend a lot of time getting the home just right. A calm home life is necessary for emotional equilibrium. From this foundation, they can then project themselves out into the world. When Cancer is happy at home, they can then become a source of great nourishment and delight. They make great hosts and entertainers, and enjoy nothing more than taking care of the ones they love through good food, rapport and empathetic conversation. Many excellent cooks are born under this sign. Anything connected to the hospitality industry serves them well. Providing nourishment is a concrete way of taking action around emotional needs. This allows those with the sun in Cancer to feel a sense of purpose. Although Cancer is concerned with action, they often tend to move through sidestepping. They may avoid direct moves until external circumstances feel favorable or right. In this way, they have much in common with their celestial namesake, the crab. On the outside, they appear tough, hardened or impenetrable, capable of a formidable tenacity. But underneath, they are typically soft and sensitive as can be, protecting their vulnerabilities from the harshness of the outer world. Cancers often come at problems sideways in the attempt to avoid being hurt. Cancers usually feel deeply connected, for better or for worse, to their family of origin or those they consider close to heart. These strong connections mean Cancers often feel personally responsible for the well-being of others. This becomes both a blessing and a curse. On the upside, Cancers can be especially warm, loving and devoted. They enjoy taking care of others. On the downside, they may feel themselves overly responsible for others' well-being, and project too much onto others, or based on what they feel loved ones should do. Cancers have a tendency to involve themselves in the emotional lives of others. In doing so, they can lose sight of their own needs. As they become less in touch with their own individuality, they become increasingly moody and erratic. At times, they can be clannish and crabby. They tend to react at the slightest trigger, feeling themselves in the middle of situations that may, in reality, have very little to do with them. This can be both draining and dysfunctional, as it creates feelings of obligation and guilt that are difficult to resolve. Learning to separate from feelings of emotional responsibility is a key life lesson for many Cancerian individuals. They must recognize that their need to be needed may not be the same need that others have, and must learn to hold back, staying focused on their own lives. Assuming responsibility for what is not theirs to take on means that Cancers have a way of making unwelcome intrusions into others' lives, creating turmoil where they really want peace. Learning to recognize when good advice and emotional involvement is not wanted is important but will take time. In these ways, the home and family are both a source of strength, and the shallows with the sun in Cancer must outgrow the need to experience a warm, safe and nurturing home life is paramount. It is imperative for Cancers to create the right kind of living circumstances to feel calm, serene and connected to other people. Yet leaving the safety of home is also necessary if they are to make their mark on the world. As a cardinal sign, they are usually not satisfied unless they are creating an impact in the world. To do this, they must first establish a stable base, and then get out of their comfort zone by leaving it. Cancers can, at times, avoid the challenges of the outside world by staying indoors. This keeps them emotionally stuck. This sign is connected to memory and the things of the past. Cancers like to surround themselves with objects that have emotional resonance. or remind them of what they have done. Those born with the sun in Cancer often prefer what is vintage, handmade or antique to what is shiny and new. They tend to value objects and experiences that evoke emotional depth. They may collect trinkets and mementos, keeping these stored away for years. In this way, Cancers may lose themselves in figments and memories. At a deep inner level, they may refuse to let go. Holding on to the past function can be a way to resist letting go of emotional experiences. They enjoy losing themselves in the memory of what is comfortable and known. On another level, Cancer is connected to continuity and tradition. Cancers love to reminisce and retell stories from the past. Yet on the downside, they can become enmeshed in the nostalgia and quickly lose perspective. This problem is especially activated around family members, bringing up past hurts or disappointments instead of moving on. Cancers can find themselves feeling responsible for how others choose to be, and becoming overly focused on trying to fix what is no longer relevant. Emotional upsets flow thick and fast when Cancers try to act based on their own perceptions of how others should think and feel. They may then find themselves on the receiving end of resentment when this attempt to assume responsibility is not wanted. Cancers are often gifted with vivid imaginations. This tendency to imagine should be acknowledged and developed. For many with the sun in Cancer, there can be creative and artistic talents that need an outlet. This can range from creating in the kitchen to design around the home. It may be expressed building homes and properties, or creating a business from scratch. Cancers have a way of tuning into what others need, and then employing their active imaginations to bring it into form. Many excellent writers are born under this sign, displaying an intuitive ability to tune into what the public wants and needs. Other Cancers have an uncanny sense of business timing, knowing when and where to act. Many tycoons are born to this sign, and Cancerians often have a particular business flair. The ability to imagine realistic yet original outcomes is a powerful trait, and one Cancerians can draw upon easily. Their active imaginations and intuitive responses mean they tend to pick up on new ideas all the time. Then the natural impulse to take action coupled with capacity to sense what others need means they are in an excellent position to act at the right time and place. When Cancers employ their sense perceptions with some degree of objectivity, they can be especially insightful. They can respond to passing impressions with uncanny precision and accuracy. Cancer is a deeply sensitive sign, so that learning to listen to an internal and rhythmic sense of timing is most important. Feelings tend to ebb and flow like the tides. Accepting this is fundamental for their well-being. As Cancerians learn to distinguish intuitive perceptions over emotional projections, they find their niche in life. Through their imaginations, they can see a perfect solution or way forward that will meet the immediate need in their own as well as others' lives. When the imagination is denied, or instead allowed to run riot, it can lead to all sorts of toxic situations. Cancerians can also use their emotional sensitivity and powerful imaginations to apparently interact with the world outside them. Imagine what they believe is going on, and then decide not to participate. Then that famed Cancerian imagination works against them. The propensity to imagine the worst means they can come to very inaccurate conclusions, and feel hurt by situations that may not even have occurred. Reliving past emotional hurts and upsets can take precedence over what is actually happening now. Cancers then become the emotional casualties of all sorts of imagined slights and social grievances that become excuses for not leaving the comfort of home. This then leads to an emotional disconnection from others, which is the opposite of what they truly seek. Since Cancer finds its strength in instinctive, emotional responses, Cancers are known for their remarkable psychic sensitivity, absorption of memories and receptiveness to emotional impressions. With the sun in Cancer, you are gifted with extraordinary emotional and intuitive insight. This can be turned to your advantage by taking action to support and foster those you hold dear, or to develop projects that you wish to get off the ground. Acknowledging your sensitivity and imagination provides you with highly effective tools. Although you are likely to respect continuity and stability in your emotional life, you must now also remember to let go of the past tendencies to attempt to assume responsibility for others' emotional needs should be kept in check, or you will notice resentment from those you care most deeply about. With your finely tuned intuition and concern for others' needs, you are often the most caring and family-oriented of souls. In the end, your sensitivity to others is both your blessing and philosophical curse. Thanks for listening, and remember to please subscribe.